start for Manchester United. The media haven't covered this. I just want you to reflect, both of you, Matty and Rooney. I want you to give me one word to describe Gary Neville's tenureship. Careful, you'll get where I'm going in a second. Gary Neville's tenure at Valencia. One word. Because the Daily Mail described it as disgusting. So I'll just leave it to you to give me one word to describe what you think his tenureship was like at Valencia.
Comparable.
He knows exactly where this is going.
Embarrassing, stroke, humiliating.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah.
Humiliating. Let me give you some numbers. Neville at Valencia was looking after the team for 28 games. He lost 11 of them. He conceded 39 goals, and his win rate was 35.7%. Ruben Amorim at Manchester United has played 29 games. He lost 4 more games, 15 games lost. They've scored less than half the goals, 16 goals, and his win rate is 24%. My question to you is not, should they be thinking of sacking him? My question to you is, why is he even in the job still in the first place? I know you've got old Star fan like over there on the right, even though he's in a Liverpool shirt, seems to think that he's the next Paisley. But the facts don't lie. Absolutely diabolical. And let me just finish this by saying, whilst in the wings and taught you a lesson at the weekend, I'd arguably say, is Marco Silva, who I think would go into that club and get something right. I don't understand your signings. I think it's all a little bit galactico, no thinking process structure, massive problem in the midfield, arguably at the back, goalkeeper's a nightmare. How can you still be, as a Manchester United fan, behind this idea of Amorim? Because it looks, and particularly when I'm giving the biggest joke of football management as 10% better, that you should be keeping Amorim.
I think we bring in Marco Silva. I think we bring in anyone. It could be anyone. Still in the same boat. They're still going to want to bring in their own players.
So do you think this is a Manchester United Football Club problem and not a management problem?
I think it's I think it's a Manchester United problem. I think that
but it looks maverick. I mean, we're talking about Slot being a little bit maverick with how he's doing with the thing. When you look across the road, across the M62, they must be sitting there and going, you think we got fucking problems?
Yeah. I think any manager that goes in, you change Amorim now, we're going to be back to square one again.
Yeah, but very quickly, Matt, you're in this thing. The point I'm making heavily is you have just blown this summer Tottenham, Newcastle out of the water with the ability to sign Cunha, Mbeumo, even with no Champions League football, with no European football, with 2 clubs that have Champions League football, the brand that is Manchester United, you can't fuck with that. You can't continually just go, oh, it's Manchester United, we'll be all right. You cannot continue to do that because very quickly you'll be down the food train. It's a long way back. And I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing from Amorim, I'm not seeing, Arsenal talk about trust the process. I don't even see a process with Amorim. I mean, it's almost like you might as well get Ange in. I'm not Rooney. I mean, I know he's your, the facts don't lie.
When he went there, I thought they potentially got their clout because he was really, really good at sporting. And I thought he doesn't tolerate the kind of personalities. He'll sift through all of that nonsense. But I think there's a lot of it is that there is so much going on in the background that he's found it just almost mission impossible. But I think that's taking the edge off his capability as well. I expected United, having had a pre-season under him, to come out, if not all guns blazing, then a very different beast. They were disappointing for me against Arsenal. I didn't see the Fulham game at the weekend, but I saw the result. And I'm actually a bit surprised. I expected more. When you're not distracted by European competition, you can literally throw the kitchen sink at every single Premier League game in the season. It's underwhelming. And I do now wonder whether something's cracked in him and he's just like, I can't do this. This job's too big for anybody.
You can't be in a... It is, Matt, but we're talking... How long ago did Fergie leave? Because we're talking about a 10-year hangover, aren't we? How long are we talking here? I can't even remember what year he left.
Was it 2011 or 12?
Right, so we're talking a 10, 12, 15-year hangover, whatever it is. Moisey had no chance when he went in. The boots were too big to fill. But, you've not brought Muggs in, have you? Mourinho comes in. You've not brought Muggs in. But they are... I know the Glazers are milking the club. They're taking all the money out. There's a big transformation that's about to happen with the stadium and everything that's going on. But regardless of all of that, the brand that is Manchester United, I don't see them signing players where you think, okay, the process makes sense. We talked last week, didn't we, about the spine of the team? What is the spine of that team?
The bit I can't understand, and we'll see in the next, 5, 6 days, how many's left. I can't understand how Kobbie Mainoo isn't getting a game in that midfield.
He's playing tonight.
He's playing tonight.
What's the game tonight?
Yeah,
but Matt, he's playing in the... He's a holding midfield player, right? He's one of the...
I don't get it. I've spoken to my son Ollie. I've spoken to him. How he keeps bringing Ugarte on, who is absolute...
He's shocking
shit at the minute. Yeah. He keeps bringing him on, and Mainoo's not getting on the pitch. And then we could go back to protection of younger players and bullshit. He's done it. How Mainoo is not getting on the pitch.
Can I ask you another question? Surely to fucking God, he can get a tune out of Garnacho or Jadon Sancho or do you? What's the problem there? Jadon Sancho did okay at Chelsea, all right, but Garnacho, there's a player there. 100% there's a player
but
there.
he's an absolute knobhead.
Yeah.
You're saying that because he chucked on a Villa shirt, eh?
No. I just think he's to turn around and go, I go Chelsea or I sit and I don't play for 6 to 12 months. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, surely as a professional footballer, you want to play week in, week out, do the best you can, and like these global brands, you want to make it like a brand for yourself. Garnacho is sitting there going, if I don't go Chelsea, I won't play for 6 or 12 months till the next windows.
You're sitting on the weekend, no doubt. I know your missus and all of her family are big Fulham, and you're sitting there and you're watching that. What are you thinking?
We were all together.
It's week. Yeah, I bet you were. Yeah, but week 2. What are you thinking?
Yeah, we were shocked. I'd say the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought, okay, we've this is a good start. We'll get this in the bag, and then it just slowed down. Went back to last season, and I'm going to put this out there. Fernandez's excuses and whinging and moaning and shouting and arms raised, and I'm done with him. He can go. He can do one as well.
Who would you like to see come in?
In his place?
Mm.
I think we've got players that can. We've got Mainoo because he's moved back from a number 10.
I thought Mainoo would play holding. Or an 8, box to box.
An 8, yeah. So Mainoo can do it.
You'd put him in the 10.
Who, Mainoo?
Yeah.
But Fernandez isn't playing a 10.
Who's in your 10 then? Right.
You've got Cunha that can play a 10. You got Bemo that can play a 10.
Well, listen,
So-
you've got Matt. What are we 5-6 days away? I don't know how long we got. What do you need? And who?
I would
Who would
say
you have in?
holding midfielder.
Who?
I'd have. we talk about the gambles of 40 million a gamble on a player that's not proven in the Premier League. I'd go Adam Wharton.
Great shout.
Adam Wharton.
I feel sorry for Palace, but great shout.
He's got Liverpool next summer. Sorry to say.
If you do well this year.
Mate, that is a great shout.
Adam Wharton. I think get rid of Fernandes. Honestly, if we could get for the age he is, if we could get 100 million or 80 million for him.
Well, apparently the Saudis are still interested. Yeah,
they're still interested. They're going to come back in. If we could get 80 million for him, I'd say right, mate.
But you've got to have a replacement.
It's not your choice anymore. Of course, yeah.
You've got to have a replacement.
It can't be a last minute deadline day deal and he goes and we've got no one. But you know, maybe.
But the other thing I'll ask you, Matt, you know, when I'll take you to the class of '92 and those lads that came through, there seems to be a distinct lack of players coming through the system at United, and that, you know, that's what got Liverpool out of jail after they sold. What you said for 120 million. What was his name? And Robertson came through. Trent came through. You signed Coutinho, yeah, and you signed Virgil. You know, that gave you the money together with young players coming through, like Arsenal had with Saka or Smith Rowe, and you know.
We only had Trent because Robertson came from Hull, but
you had a couple of other players that came through the system, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe support.
Oh, I think you definitely did. They were, you know, they were definitely players.
The big buys with the money were Virgil, Alisson, and who else did we buy? We bought three.
No idea.
Mental block. We bought three.
Wasn't McAllister, no?
No, he was later. Yeah.
But Matt, you know, look, let's stay on United. We'll finish this little section. So you're against Marco Silva. I mean, I it's a no-brainer to me. I don't understand why you poo-poo that straight off the bat. I mean, I just think he doesn't look like he has a fucking clue to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm really surprised, and I don't know. You'll know more than me. You probably watch United, you know, YouTube channels and whatnot. But they're not. Is it not a 50-50 divide, or most people going, yeah, Amorim, the pro Amorim?
The thing is with me, Mark. We've seen a lot of changes since Fergie went, and nothing's changed. Yeah, we've had European football and blah blah blah, but we've not been deserving really sometimes, and not been up for the European football. What I don't want to happen is we change manager again, and we're back to square one, and we've just wasted another 18 months with Amorim. A new manager then comes in and changes ways, changes players, and then it doesn't work out for him for 18 months, and we change. You know, there's got to be a stop in the. You know.
But we all criticised the likes of Chelsea, you know, 10, 15 years ago. Seemed to be going through managers like Sox and blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that followed them was trophy after trophy after trophy. Because if the shoe didn't fit, they didn't question it. They just got rid of it. And you know, and the risk you've got there is you sound like, you know, the geezer that's been married to whatever, an Alexandria, shall we call her, or Alex Ferguson for 40 years. It's all been quite successful. You know, he's shagged a few birds along the way. None of them's quite worked out. So now he wants to, you know, just stick with this one, and you know, he's kind of, you know, getting his leg over once or twice a month, and we should just put up with that. I bad analogy, but what I'm getting at is the point is it there's a saying, it's it'll come to me in a minute. You're too scared to make a move. It's a paralysis of analysis is what I was looking for. So it's like you analyze that you are looking and it's not worked out, so therefore now you're paralyzed by the idea of making a change. When you can sit there and go, you might as well bring Gary Neville in because you're 10% better than the geezer you got at the moment. And we can't argue the facts, can we?
No, you can't.
I mean, even Rooney's a secret closet, kind of Gary Neville fan.
Really? That's stretching it.
Rooney, final thoughts on this subject?
Well, that's it. I'm surprised at how they've started the season. I don't know what they can do in 5 days in the transfer window to change it dramatically. I agree. I don't see that identity then. I don't see the players necessarily being bought into his classic 3-4-3 system with conviction. So I think I'd tip them top 5 this year. I have to very quickly make a revision to that and say top half would be success for them this year.
If you can imagine yourself in the with a red devil on your shirt there, would you want him to stay? Because Matt, like Matt's saying, he's worried about keep making changes.
Yeah, but to your point, they've had good managers before, and it's always not worked. And when I say not worked from a period of stability or a dynasty being built. It's just not happened, which says it's the almost fabric of the club, which is a big part of the problem. So if you keep moving out talented managers, and I would say, I think he's let himself down, Amorim, by the way they've started the season. It's been his pre-season. He's had options. For whatever reason, he wants shot of Manu. I don't get it. And they're the things that when you add it all up, doesn't make a lot of sense. And don't forget, only towards the end of last season, he was saying, if the club want me to go by the end of the season, I'll gladly go with no money. He'd made those comments. So I do wonder how it's going to end up. I do.
Total and utter disregard for Manchester United. The media haven't covered this.